Hey everybody, are you like me? You're tired of waking up every morning and you're watching where the next protest and the next fires, the next breakout of violence is going to be? Are you like me and you wonder, is this real? I mean, could this really be happening? Here's the problem. The problem is we get this gut feeling that something's not right, that something's not real, that something's strange, but yet we're told by the mainstream media and by the system that it is real. But there's something wrong with us because of the way we feel. No, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to bring some things into the open. I'm going to say some things that I really believe need to be said. A virus has been created, right? But now you have the antidote, or at least something to stop the virus from spreading. And what is that? Well, you got masks. You got to stay 6 feet apart. Stay in your home. Okay. Let me put this package in a different way. Let's say that you've got this 1950s sci-fi movie. Let's say Twilight Zone. Okay. You got a mad scientist. Okay, and this mad scientist has a bunch of little mice in a cage, and he's got to do experiments with them, right? So he creates this virus, and he sees how they behave. Well, let me tell you how they behave. They behave exactly how the mad scientist says behave. You've got to stay in your house, wear your mask, 6 feet apart, okay, social distancing. You see, the problem is when fear is instilled in a person, we react without logic, okay? We give up all of our sovereignty so that we can be saved. It's kind of like human nature, right? And this is what's happened. So the mad scientist has kept the little mice in the cage for quite some time, to the point where they're starting to go crazy, all right? Sound like us, right? So we're in the house. We've been here for 2 months. We really don't go out and do much. And so now we're low on vitamin D. Our immunity's low. Not much sunshine. We're looking at the wall, starting to go crazy. So now that mad scientist says, now I'm going to make my next move. Now I'm going to bring in the next level. The next level, what is that? Well, these little mice are different color. You have black mice, gray mice, white mice, all different. Now I know that there's a problem between the white mice and the black mice, so we're gonna hit that chinks in the armor. All right, but in order for the mad scientist to do what he needs to do, he must have players. He must have actors. There must be people that are willing to play this out. Actors. Do you know that many of the people that they've arrested, they say do not even live in the area? They came from outside, from other states. And you must have a media machine to help you promote this agenda. And this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about program multiples. Now, if you've watched my videos and heard my studies on this, you'll know that a program multiple is a person that has been programmed since birth, usually through an SRA system, satanic ritual abuse. But they've been programmed, and they've been programmed into having various multiple personalities that perform various tasks and duties. Now, I've talked about these shooters, okay, that they were programmed to go out and shoot, to go out and kill. And then the other part of the personality, they end up committing suicide. Well, I don't want to go there right now, but I want you to understand the program multiple. Okay, I believe right now we are experiencing, what we're seeing is the play out of program multiples. It's believed that there are over 10 million SRA victims and millions of program multiples in the United States alone. Now, it's important to note that not every player in this script is a program multiple. Some are paid and placed in these riots, but they're under the regime of a demonic force. Now you can see by this map the location where each protest has broken out. This is by design. These locations are demon portals where demons have strongholds. You've got to have actors in order to pull this off. You cannot pull this off by accident. Sure, maybe coincidence, but not like this. It's too widespread. It's all over the country right now. All right, so let's talk about why I believe these are program multiples. I want to go to the first incident, and there's three I want to just pull out here. And I'm not going to talk about racism. I want to talk about the incident and what happened, okay? Now, we understand it was white cop killing a black person. And by the way, I'm praying for the families of the victims, okay? Because this is tragic, okay? But I want to try to bring to the surface what I really believe is going on. So three incidents. Of course, the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Now, there was a camera right on this situation. And have you ever asked yourself, why is there always a camera there that's getting just the right angle, that's showing it just at the right time? Number two, Louisville, Kentucky. 3 officers out for a drug bust, all right? They go to the wrong home. Happens to be the home of Breonna Taylor. She's there with her boyfriend. They bang on the door. Breonna's boyfriend gets up. He has a right to carry, a permit, gets his gun, fires, injures one of the officers. They fire 8 shots blindly into this home, and they kill Breonna in her bed. She's an EMT, black woman. The cops are white. Does this sound normal to you? All right, let's go to the third incident in Fort Worth. A police officer gets a call from a neighbor to investigate a home, sees the front door open, gets his gun out, his flashlight, walks around to the window, hears a noise, immediately fires into the window, killing Tatiana Jefferson. The officer doesn't identify himself. She's babysitting her little nephew, and of course she's unarmed. He kills her in her own home. Now, I want to mention Amber Geiger. And I found this to be strange. This happened a while back. That she's a police officer, gets off work, comes home, thinks she's walking into her apartment, but she's walking into a neighbor's apartment. He happens to be black. She walks into the wrong apartment. She ends up shooting him, thinking that she's in her apartment and he's an intruder. Now, come on. Does this sound weird or what? Folks, in order to do what they're doing right now, what the mad scientist is doing right now, you must have actors. You must have people willing to play this thing out. You need people who are programmed. Oh, and remember that CNN news crew that got arrested while broadcasting live? Didn't you find that a little strange? Could it be that the mad scientist just needed a show of force? You know, they talk about the race card. It's a race issue. The problem is everything is a sin issue, okay? We have addiction, we have lying, we have cheating, we have killing, okay? We have racism. It's a sin issue. And until we deal with the sin issue, the race issue is never going to be dealt with. It's just going to continue on. And this is what the mad scientist wants to happen. They want us to continue trying to deal with a specific situation without dealing with the sin. God says, deal with the sin. When we repent, we come clean, God will take care of everything else. You know, Zechariah 1:15 It says that, and this is God speaking, he says, I am very angry with a nation who feels so secure. Sound like America? Land of the free. We are the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest military in the world. Hey, you see my hat? Make America great again. Take the hat off that says make America great again and put the hat on that says make God great again. This is what we're getting, folks, by parading around, beating our chest, saying we're the greatest. Look around now. Are we the greatest? The greatest embarrassment? You know, I do a lot of missionary work in small, quote, third world countries. They don't have much, but they have God. They sleep on dirt floors, but they look to God. They don't have these issues. You know, they don't have these riots. They didn't even have a breakout of the virus, a lot of them, like the rest of the world. Interesting, huh? The mad scientist. Who is the mad scientist? Let's go to Matthew 24. All right? Just one thing Jesus said. He said, be not deceived. I'm paraphrasing. He's talking about the false prophets. He's talking about the Antichrist. He's talking about the days which we are in right now. We're experiencing these days. Here's the problem, is that those who are in it right now, looking around going, I can't believe this is happening. Is this the end times? No, it can't be. Why? People don't believe it because it's happening like a frog in hot water. The water slowly gets turned up. The frog doesn't know he's cooking. And one day he looks around and he's the one they're having for dinner. So folks, if you were to 50 years ago look at what's going on right now with this virus, with this, the riots, even the airports with the TSAs, hands above head, and we're going to x-ray you, and we're going to pat you down. If you were to see that 50 years ago and look on this, you go, it's over. We are in, this isn't the last days, this is the last day. You see, until we understand and see with spiritual eyes, wake up and be not deceived, until we look at it spiritually and fly high above the physical, all of this nonsense, and get into the spiritual realm and understand that we're battling dark spirits, battling powers in high places. But we're going to win. But until we understand this is where we need to be, always going to struggle. Now, I'm calling God's people because God's people have to step up to the plate. And by the way, preacher, where are you? I'm not seeing too many preachers coming out and talking about this and address. Oh, David, I don't want to talk about racism. It's not. It's just a bad thing. Stop it. Talk about cynism. That's what you need to talk about, cynism. The problem is you won't do it, because then you have to talk about repentance, and then your hyper grace philosophy movement just goes straight out the window. I got news for you, preacher. Your days are numbered. You're becoming exposed as a false prophet. But there's many preachers out there that really love God. They really want to do what God needs them to do. And this is a call to action. This is a call to action, not only to preachers, but to God's people. We've got to get the word out. Please pass this video around. If you haven't, please subscribe. I just want you to understand that we are in the final hours, and God is calling his people. We need to step up to the plate, let our voice be heard, and we need to say, greater is he who is in me than he who is in this virus, in these riots, and in the world. I love you all.